to taste it, can't you? God, isn't this sea what Angie calls it? A great sweet mother. The stock green sea, the scrotum tightening sea. Epi oinopa pum. Ah, Delos, the Greeks. I must teach you. You must read them in the original. Thalat. She is our great sweet mother. Come on.
Stephen stands up and goes over to the parapet. Leaning on it, he looks down on the water and on the mail boat clearing the harbour mat of Kingstown.
Our mighty mother. The Ark thinks you killed your mother. That's why she won't let me have anything to do with you.
Someone killed her.
You could have helped. You could have knelt down, damn Kinch. When your dying mother asked you. I'm Hyperborean as much as you. But to think of your mother begging you with her last breath to kneel down and pray for her, and you refused. There is something sinister in you. But a lovely mother. Kinch, the loveliest mother of them all.
He shaves evenly and with care, in silence, seriously. Stephen, an elbow resting on the jagged granite, leans his palm against his brow and gazes at the fraying edge of his shiny black coat sleeve. Pain that is not yet the pain of love frets his heart.
Silently, in a dream, she had come to me after her death. Her wasted body within its loose brown grave clothes, giving off an odour of wax and rosewood. Her breath that had bent upon me, mute, reproachful, a faint odour of wetted ashes.
Across the threadbare cuff edge, Stephen sees the sea, hailed as a great sweet mother by the well-fed voice beside him. The ring of bay and skyline hold a dull green mass of liquid.
A bowl of white china had stood beside her deathbed, holding the green, sluggish bile which had torn up from her rotting liver by fits of loud, groaning vomiting.
But Mulligan wipes again his razor blade.
Ah, poor dog's body. I must give you a shirt and a few nose rags. How are the second-hand breeks?
They fit well enough.
The mockery of it. Second leg they should be. God knows what poxy bowsy left them off. I have a lovely pair with a hair stripe. Great. You look spiffing in them. I'm not joking, Kitch. You look damn well when you're dressed.
Thanks. I can't wear them if they're grey.
He can't wear them. Etiquette is etiquette. He kills his mother, but he can't wear grey trousers. The fellow I was with in the ship last night says you have general paralysis of the insane. He's up at Dottyville with Connolly Norman. Look at yourself, you dreadful bard. I pinched this mirror out of the skivvies room. It does her all right. The aunt always keeps plain-looking servants for Malachy. Lead him not into temptation. And her name is Ursula. The rage of Caliban at not seeing his face in a mirror. If Wilde were only alive to see you.
Your shaving mirror is a symbol of Irish art. The cracked looking glass of a servant.
It's not fair to tease you like that, Kitch, is it? God knows you have more spirit than any of them. Cracked looking glass of a servant. Tell that to the oxy chop downstairs. And touch him for a guinea. He's stinking with money and he thinks you're not a gentleman. His old fellow made his tin by selling jalap to Zulus or some bloody swindle or other. God, Kitch, if you and I could only work together, we might do something for the island. Hellenize it. And to think of you having to beg from these swine. I'm the only one that knows what you are. Why don't you trust me more? What have you up your nose against him? Is it Haynes? If he makes any noise here, I'll bring down Seymour, and we'll give him a ragging worse than we gave Clive Kempthorpe.
Oh, let him stay. There's nothing wrong with him, except at night.
Then what is it? Cough it up. I'm quite frank with you. What have you got against me now?
Do you wish me to tell you?
Yes, what is it? I don't remember any.
Do you remember the first day I went to your house after my mother's death?
What? Where? I can't remember anything. I remember only ideas and sensations. Why? What happened in the name of God?
You were making tea and went across the landing to get more hot water. Your mother and some visitor came out of the drawing room. She asked who was in your room.
Yes. What did I say? I forget.
You said it's only Daedalus whose mother is beastly dead.
Did I say that? Well, what harm is that? And what is dead? Your mother's, or yours, or my own? You saw only your mother. I see them pop off in a matter of enrichment and cut up into every day and cut into tripes in the dissecting room. It's a beastly thing and nothing else. It simply doesn't matter. You wouldn't kneel down and pray for your mother on her deathbed when she asks you. Why? Because you have the cursed Jesuit strain in you. Only it's injected the wrong way. To me, it's all a mockery of beastly. Her cerebral lobes are not functioning. She calls the doctor Sir Peter Tizzle and picks buttercups off her quilt. Humour her till it's over. You crossed her last wish of death, and yet you sulk with me because I don't whinge like some hired mute from Lalowitz. Absurd. I suppose I did say it. I didn't mean to offend them.
I am not thinking of the offence to my mother.
Of what then?
Of the offence to me!
Oh, an impossible person.
He walks off quickly round the parapet. Stephen stands at his post, gazing over the calm sea towards the headland. Sea and headland now grow dim. Pulses are beating in his eyes, veiling their sight, and he feels the fever of his cheeks.
Are you up done, Mulligan?
I'm coming. Look at the sea. What does he care about offences? Chuck Loyola, Kinch, and come on down. The Sassenach wants his morning rashes. Don't mope over it all day. I'm inconsequent. Give up the moody brood. And no more turn aside and brood upon love's bitter mystery, for Fergus rules the brazen cards.
Wood shadows float silently by through the morning peace from the stairhead, seaward where he gazes.
Inshore and farther out, the mirror of water whitens, spurned by light-shod hurrying feet. White rest of the dim sea. The twining stresses, 2 by 2. A hand plucking the harpstrings, merging their twining chords. Wave-white wedded words shimmering on the dim tide.
The cloud begins to cover the sun slowly, wholly, shadowing the bay in deeper green. It lies beneath him, a bowl of bitter waters.
Fergus's song. I sang it alone in the house, holding down the long dark chords. Her door was open. She wanted to hear my music. Silent with awe and pity, I went to her bedside. She was crying in her wretched bed. For those words, Stephen, love's bitter mystery. Where now? Her secrets, old feather fans, tasselled dance cards, powdered with musk, a gourd of amber beads in her locked drawer. A birdcage hung in the sunny window of her house when she was a girl. She heard old Royce sing in the pantomime of Turco the Terrible and laughed with the others when he sang. I am the boy that can enjoy invisibility. Phantasmal mirth, folded away, musk perfumed, and no more turn aside and brood. Her glass of water from the kitchen tap when she had approached the sacrament. A cored apple filled with brown sugar, roasting for her at the hob on a dark autumn evening. Her shapely fingernails, reddened by the blood of squashed lice from the children's shirts. In a dream, silently, she had come to me, her wasted body within its loose grave clothes, giving off an odour of wax and rosewood, her breath bent over me with mute secret words, a faint odour of wetted ashes, her glazing eyes staring out of death to shake and bend my soul on me alone. The ghost candle to light her agony, ghostly light on the tortured face, her hoarse, loud breath rattling in horror, while all prayed on their knees. Her eyes on me to strike me down, Liliato rutilantium te confessorum turma circumdet, jubilantium te virginium chorus excipiat. Ghoul, chewer of corpses, no, mother, let me be, and let me live.
Kinch ahoy! Dad has come down like a good mosey. Breakfast is ready. Haynes is apologising for waking us last night. It's all right.
I'm coming.
Do for Jesus' sake, for my sake, and for all of our sakes. I told him your symbol for Irish art. Haynes says it's very clever. Touch him for a quid, will you? I gave you a quid.
I get paid this morning.
The school kid? How much? 4 quid? And us one?
If you want it.
4 shining sovereigns. We'll have a glorious drunk to astonish the druidy druids. 4 omnipotent sovereigns. Oh, won't we have a merry time, drinking whiskey, beer and wine on Coronation Day. Oh, won't we have a merry time on Coronation Day.
Warm sunshine merrying over the sea. The nickel shaving bowl shines, forgotten on the parapet. He goes over to it, holds it in his hands a while, feeling its coolness, smelling the clammy slather of lava in which the brush was stuck.
So I carried the boat of incense then at Clongowes. I am another now, and yet the same. A servant, too. A servant of a servant.
In the gloomy, domed living room of the tower, Buck Mulligan's gown form moves briskly to and fro about the hearth, hiding and revealing its yellow glow. 2 shafts of soft daylight fall across the flagged floor from the high barbicans, and at the meeting of the rays, a cloud of coal smoke and fumes of fried grease floated, turning.
We'll be choked. Haynes, open that door, will you?
Stephen lays the shaving bowl on the locker. A tall figure rises from the hammock, where it has been sitting, goes to the doorway, and pulls open the inner doors.
Have you the key?
Dedalus has it. Janie Mac, I'm choked. Kinch!
It's in the lock.
The key scrapes round harshly twice, and when the heavy door has been set ajar, welcome light and bright air enters. Haynes stands at the doorway, looking out. Stephen hails his upended valise to the table and sits down to wait. Buck Mulligan tosses the fry onto the dish beside him. He then carries the dish and a large teapot over to the table, sets them down heavily, and sighs with relief.
I'm melting as the candle remarked when... But hush! Not a word more on that subject. Kinch, wake up. Bread, butter, honey. Haynes, come in, the grub is ready. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts. Where's the sugar? Oh, Jay, there's no milk. What sort of kip is this? I told her to come after it.
We can drink it black. There's a lemon in the locker.
Oh, damn you and your Paris fads. I want Sandy Cove milk.
That woman is coming up with the milk.
The blessings of God on you. Sit down, pour out the tea there. The sugar is in the bag. Here, I can't go fumbling at the damned eggs. In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti.
I'm giving you 2 lumps each. But I say, Mulligan, you do mix some tea, don't you?
When I makes tea as old mother grows. When I makes water, I makes water. By Jones, tea. So do I, Mrs. Gallo, she says. Be God, ma'am, says Mrs. Gallo. God sends you, don't make them in one pot.
Now that's folk for your book, Haynes. 5 lines of text and 10 pages of notes about the folk and the fish gods of Dundrum. Printed by the Weird Sisters in the year of the Big Wind. Can you recall? Is Mother Grogan's tea and water pot spoken in the Mabinogian, or is it the Upanishads?
I doubt it.
Do you know? Your reasons, brother.
I fancy it did not exist in or out of the Mabinogian. Mother Grogan was, one imagines, a kinswoman of Mary Ann.
Charming. Do you think she was? Quite charming.
For old Mary Ann, she doesn't care a damn, but hiding up her petticoats.
The milk, sir.
Oh, come in now. Kinch, get the jug.
That's a lovely morning, sir. To where did you go?
To whom? To be sure. The islanders speak frequently of the collector of promises.
How How much, sir?
A quart.
Stephen watches her pour into the measure, and thence into the jug, rich white milk, not hers.
Oh, shrug, perhaps.
She pours again, a measureful and a tilly.
Old and secret she had entered from a morning world. Maybe a messenger.
She praises the goodness of the milk, pouring it out.
Crouching by a patient cow at daybreak in the lush field, a witch on her toadstool, her wrinkled fingers quick at the squirting ducks. They lowed about her whom they knew, dew silkily cattle, silk of the kine, and poor old woman, names given her in old times. A wandering crone, lowly form of an immortal, serving her conqueror and her gay betrayer, their common cuck queen, a messenger from the secret morning, to serve or to upbraid, whether I cannot tell, but scorned to beg her favour.
It is indeed, ma'am.
Taste it, sir.
If we could live on good food like that, we wouldn't have the country full of rotten teeth and rotten guts. Living in a bog swamp, eating cheap food, and the streets paved with dust, horse dung, and consumptive spits.
Are you a medical student, sir?
I am, ma'am.
Look at that now.
Stephen listens in scornful silence.
She bows her old head to a voice that speaks to her softly, her bone setter, her medicine man. Me she slights, to the voice that will shrive and oil for the grave all there is of her, but her woman's unclean loins, of man's flesh made not in God's likeness, the serpent's prey, and to the loud voice that now bids her be silent, with wondering, unsteady eyes.
Curious.
Do you understand what he says?
Is it French you're talking, sir?
This is Shalgogi.
Irish. Is there Gaelic in on you?
I thought it was Irish by the sound of it. Are you from the West, sir?
I am an English.
He's English, and he thinks we all ought to speak Irish.
Sure we ought to. And I'm ashamed I don't speak the language myself. I'm told it's a grand language by them that knows.
Grand is no name for it. Wonderful entirely. Fill us out some more tea, Kinch. Would you like a cup, man?
No, thank you, sir.
Have you your bill? We better pay us, Malik, haven't we?
3 quarts is a shilling. That's a shilling, and 1 and 2 is 2, and 2, sir.
Buck Mulligan sighs, and having filled his mouth with a crust thickly buttered on both sides, stretches forth his legs and begins to search his trouser pockets.
Pay up and look pleasant.
A miracle. Ask nothing more of me, sweet. All I can give you, I give.
We'll owe tuppence.
Time enough, sir. Time enough. Good morning, sir.
Heart of my heart, were it more would be laid at your feet. Seriously, Dennis, I'm sorry. But Stoney, hurry out to your school kip and bring us back some money. Today the bards must drink and junket. Ireland expects that every man will do his duty this day.
That reminds me, I have to visit your National Library today.
Our swim first. Is this the day of your monthly wash, Kinch? The unclean bard makes a point of washing once a month.
All Ireland is washed in the Gulf Stream.
I intend to make a collection of your sayings, if you'll let me. The one about the cracked looking glass for servants, being simple Irish is a juice called.
Wait till you hear him on Hamlet, Haynes.
I mean it. I was just thinking of it when that old poor creature came in.
Would I make any money by it?
I don't know, sure.
Haynes strolls out to the doorway.
You put your hoof in it now. What did you say that for?
Well, the problem is to get money. From whom? From the milk woman or from him? It's a toss-up, I think.
I blow him out about you, and then you come along with your gloomy Jesuit jibes.
I see little hope from her or from him.
From me, Kinch, to tell you that God's true, I think you're right. Damn all else they are good for. Why don't you play them as I do? To hell with them all. Let us get out of the kid.
Mulligan stands up, bravely ungirdling, and disrobes himself of his gown.
Mulligan is stripped of his garments. There's your snot rag, and there's your Latin quarter hat.
Stephen picks it up and puts it on.
Are you coming, you fellows?
I'm ready. Come out, Kinch. You have eaten all we left, I suppose. And going forth, he met buttermilk.
Stephen, taking his ash plant from its leaning place, follows them out and, as they go down the ladder, pulls the slow iron door and locks it. He puts the key in his inner pocket.
Did you bring the key?
I have it.
Pay rent for this tower.
12 quid.
To the Secretary of State for War.
Rather bleak in winter time, I should say. Martello, do you call it?
Billy Pitt had them built when the French were on the sea, but ours is the Omnibus.
What's your idea of Hamlet?
No, I'm not equal to Thomas Aquinas and the 55 reasons he has made to prop it up. Wait till I have a few points in me first. You couldn't manage it under 3 points, Kinch, could you?
It has waited so long. It can wait longer.
You piqued my curiosity. Is it some paradox?
We have grown out of wild and paradoxes. It's quite simple. He proves by algebra that Hamlet's grandson is Shakespeare's grandfather and that he himself is the ghost of his own father.
What? He himself?
Oh, shade Kinch. A shade of Kinch the elder, Japheth in search of the father.
We are always tired in the morning, and it is rather long to tell.
The sacred point alone can unbind the tongue of Delos.
I mean to say, this tower, these cliffs here remind me somewhat of Elsinore. Eagles is based into the sea, isn't it? It's a wonderful tale. I read the theological interpretation of it somewhere. The father and the son idea. The son striving to be told with the father.
I'm the queerest young fellow that ever you heard. My mother's a Jew, my father's a bird. With Joseph the joiner, we cannot agree, so here's to this life and Calvary. If anyone thinks that I am a divine, he will get no free drinks when I'm making the wine, but have to drink water and wish it were plain, that I make when the wine becomes water again. Goodbye now, goodbye, write down all I said, and tell Tom, Dick and Harry that I rose from the dead. What's bred in the bone cannot fail me when I rose, and all of it's breathing. Goodbye and goodbye.
We ought to laugh, I suppose. He's rather blasphemous. I'm not a believer myself, perhaps to say. Still, skating takes no harm out with somehow, doesn't it? What do we call it? Joseph the Joiner?
The Ballad of Joking Jesus.
Oh, you've heard of it before.
3 times a day after meals.
You're not a believer, are you? I mean, a believer in the narrow sense of the word. Creation from nothing, and miracles and a personal God.
There is only one sense of the word, it seems to me.
Yes, of course. Either you believe or you don't, isn't it? Personally, I couldn't stop the idea of a personal God. You don't stand for that, I suppose.
You behold in me a horrible example of free thought.
After all, I should think you're able to free yourself. You are your own master, it seems to me.
I am a servant of 2 masters, an English and an Italian. And a third there is who wants me for odd jobs.
Italian? What do you mean?
The Imperial British State and the Holy Roman Catholic and Apostolic Church.
I can quite understand that. An Irishman must think like that, I dare say. We feel in England that we have treated you rather unfairly. It seems history is to blame. Of course, I'm a Britisher. I feel as one. And I don't wish to see my country fall into the hands of German Jews either. That's a national problem, I'm afraid, just now.
Haynes and Stephen follow the winding path down to the creek. Buck Mulligan stands on a stone in his shirt sleeves, his unclipped tie rippling over his shoulder. Buck Mulligan makes way for them to scramble past, and glancing at Haynes and Stephen, crosses himself piously with his thumbnail at brow and lips and breastbone. Haynes sits down on the stone, smoking.
Are you not coming in?
Later, not my breakfast.
I'm going, Mulligan.
Give us that key, Kinch, to keep my shells flat.
Stephen hands him the key, but Mulligan lays it across his clothes.
And twopence, throw it there.
Stephen throws 2 pennies on the heap.
He who stealeth from the poor lendeth to the Lord. Thus spake Zarathustra.
His plump body plunges into water.
We see you again.
Horn of a bull, hoof of a horse, smile of a Saxon.
The ship, 12:30.
Good.
He walks along the upward curving path.
Liliata rutilantium, turma circumdent, jubilantium tabor gidius. I will not sleep here tonight. Home also I cannot go.
A voice, sweet-toned and sustained, calls to him from the sea. Turning the curve, he waves his hand. Calls again. A sleek brown head, a seal's, far out on the ground.
Usurper.